After deadly clashes, Afghanistan and Pakistan have agreed to an immediate ceasefire during a round of negotiations mediated by Qatar and Turkey in Doha. Qatar's foreign ministry said both sides agreed to an immediate ceasefire and the establishment of mechanisms to consolidate lasting peace and stability between the countries. They have also agreed to hold follow-up meetings in the coming days to ensure the sustainability of the ceasefire. Joining us right now is CNN News 18's Akanksha. Akanksha, what mechanisms have the two countries put in place so far, with respect to the ceasefire being maintained, and what do we know so far?
Hi, a very good morning to you, Shreya, and all our viewers. So what we are learning is that there has been much optimism that has been expressed by the Qatari and the Turkish parties which were there facilitating the ceasefire. Islamabad, as we all know, has been pushing Qatar's facilitation to get a conditional ceasefire extension, and in inputs that have been shared by our securities editor, Mr. Manoj Gupta, what we are learning is that Pakistan is aiming to secure safe zones for its convoys along the coast, North Waziristan axis in the middle of the rising Taliban resistance. The Afghan side is reportedly insisting on complete block of Pakistan's aerial bombardment and intrusion. Remember, the Afghan Taliban has been maintaining that they do not have a very strong aerial defense system. They are duty-bound to save their country. This is what the Taliban feels, that this is an uneven war not being fought on an equal footing, as they do not have ample aerial defense. The Afghan side is also pushing for prisoner release guarantees before agreeing to any kind of a long-term peace formula. At the same time, Shreya, Doha has directions from the West, say countries like the United States particularly, which have their own vested interests in Afghanistan, because we all know U.S. now, under the aegis of the current U.S. President Donald Trump, wants to regain the Bagram base in Afghanistan. So they have their own interest in stabilizing the Pakistan-Afghan corridor. Qatar henceforth has been pushing for this joint statement. They will be forcing for mutual restraint without directly blaming either side. But for how long will the ceasefire actually hold is the biggest critical question right now. It's going to be a very fragile ceasefire, given that on Friday, Pakistani airstrikes killed 10 Afghan civilians. 3 of them were innocent Afghan cricketers. There was condemnation coming in not just from the Afghan Cricket Board, but also from India's BCCI. Even the ICC has stepped in to condemn that airstrike. So, but Pakistan side, what we can tell you, has been led by their own defense minister, the NSA, the DG, ISI, or Lieutenant General Asim Malik. Of course, it was also the Talibani side, which had been represented by their own defense minister. So we'll have to see how this shapes up now, as a second round of talks will be held within a week's time. And Pakistan has already drawn the red line. Taliban is demanding to hand over hardcore TTP fighters who are currently in Pak custody. How much will Pakistan yield to that demand is something we'll have to see.
Right. You just mentioned about civilian casualties. So has Pakistan acknowledged these civilian casualties, especially with respect to the club-level cricket players who were killed during these airstrikes?
There seems to be no acknowledgement right now coming in. They're saying that they have all the right to defend themselves. There's, in fact, a blame game going on. And shocking statement, yet another shocking statement coming in from the Pakistan Chief of Army, that is Field Marshal Asim Munir. He also dragged in India. He's accused India of conducting its own proxy war through Afghan soil. At the same time, we've seen how Pakistan's Defense Minister Khwaja Asif just a couple of days ago had attacked India by saying that the Taliban leadership is sitting in New Delhi's lap. Of course, again indicating that these are proxy wars being conducted by India. So these are internal security failures which Pakistan is refusing to acknowledge. Their tensions right now with the Afghan Taliban currently are some of their own internal security failures, which they now want to digress from and blame India for all the way from tensions, whether it is in Balochistan, Afghan Taliban, or say even the recent violent crackdown on the protests that were taking place in POK is something that has been a result of their own internal interconnected security failures in Pakistan. And these attacks, these aerial strikes have been continuing unabated by Pakistan. We'll have to see if the ceasefire is going to hold, but the Friday strikes have not really been able to elicit any kind of an apology or a response as far as the death of these innocent civilians is concerned. But what has drawn flack from the cricketing body across has in fact also led the ACB, the Afghan Cricket Board, to decide to step down from a tri-series that they were about to participate in the days ahead against Pakistan. So Afghanistan has very much stepped out of it. And this is a situation which is currently extremely volatile. As I said, we'll have to see if the ceasefire is going to hold, because both sides will have to take a step backwards. Will the Qatari and the Turkish officials be able to ensure that that red line is drawn, is something which will be decided in the days ahead that are going to be extremely critical.
Thank you, Kansha, for your input. For now, let's move on to the next breaking story coming in. This is a CNN News 18's exclusive input on Pakistan, Afghanistan and Taliban talks. Intel sources reveals to CNN News 18 that the first round of Pakistan and Afghanistan talks in Doha concluded on a positive note, and talks will resume in the morning for second session. The delegates will stay in Doha and the next round of talks will be held within a week's time. Sources further added that Pakistan's side is being led by the Defence Minister and NSA and Lieutenant General Asim Malik. Akanksha, coming back to you for this, given the fact that delegations from both sides are being led by their respective defence ministers, so is that indicative of anything?
Right, and as I said, that you have a very hawkish defence minister who has who's known, or is rather infamous, for a foot in the mouth problem, because these are claims that not just Khwaja Asif but even the Field Marshal Asif Munir, the Chief of Army Staff in Pakistan, have been making, whether it is about dragging India into the picture for every insurgency that takes place against Pakistan, whether it is to do with Balochistan or the protests in POK, or even Afghan Taliban. They have in fact been blaming India for it. But to come to your question, as far as Khwaja Asif is concerned, he's already sounded a word of caution that the relations with Pakistan, between Pakistan and Afghan Taliban, cannot be restored compared to what they were earlier, because we've seen there's been a sudden decline, particularly in the year gone by, after these attacks that have been taking place. Even though Pakistan was one of the first few countries to be rejoicing when Afghan Taliban took to power after the withdrawal of US troops from Afghanistan. But there's been a sudden decline, especially after the Afghan Taliban facilitated talks between the TTP and Pakistan in the year 2022. There was a complete collapse of any sort of diplomacy between the two sides. And we all know that the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan is the militant outfit that has been plaguing Pakistan for quite some time. And Khwaja Asif really has been at the hem of affairs to be dealing with this. So, as we said, that they have their own set of demands which they are looking towards. Taliban is demanding to hand over their own TTP fighters who are currently in Pakistan custody. What is Pakistan going to now ask in return is, of course, something that in inputs that have been shared by Manoj Gupta, securities editor, we've been told has been communicated directly by Pakistan to the Afghan Taliban. They'll have to now sit and also mediate over what is going to be that bone of contention as far as meeting Taliban's demands for these TTP fighters to be handed over by Pakistan. What Is it that Pakistan would now want in return? Taliban also wants that there should be an end to this kind of aerial bombardment, because remember, not only are they extremely fragile economically, but they are also militarily not very well equipped. Taliban has been very vocal about how they lack adequate aerial defense systems. We'll have to see how far Qatar and Turkey can in fact take these negotiations further, as you rightly highlighted, that they will be meeting for a second round of talks just a week later. So we'll have to see, first of all, if the ceasefire is even going to hold. There are ample vested interests right now in this entire region, which, as we all know, is also attracting and wooing the Americans for the air base. You already have Russia, which is the first country to have acknowledged the Afghan Taliban regime diplomatically as well. China has its own interest. Afghan Taliban have also been making their own set of diplomatic overtures to India. As we saw, their foreign minister Amir Khan Muttaqi was very much in India just a few days ago. Perhaps that's also what is earning the ire of Pakistan. Not that India has India has of course maintained that their relationship with Afghan Taliban so far is only going to be that which is sovereign. We are yet to diplomatically restore ties with Afghan Taliban completely. But we'll have to see how far this goes.
Right. You just mentioned the commitment to hand over the TTP personnel from Afghanistan to Pakistan. So has there been any formal declaration or a commitment of some sort from the Taliban administration with respect to Afghanistan's soil not being used to launch attacks against Pakistan? Sort of a similar commitment that they had initially made to India as well.
I'm sorry, I lost your question there, Shreya.
Right. So I just wanted to ask that, have the Taliban administration made any formal declaration or a commitment of sort to Pakistan that they will hand over the TTP and that Afghan soil would not be used to launch attacks on Pakistan? A similar commitment that they had initially made to India.
You know, these are closed-door meetings that happen. What really is going on in terms of any such commitment right now, we are waiting a formal word coming in. But what we can tell you right now, that there is much optimism which has in fact been shared. Pakistan is of course aiming to secure their own safe zones for the convoys that are deployed along the North Waziristan and the Khost axis that is in the middle of this entire Taliban resistance area. So Afghan side is also insisting on a complete block of the aerial intrusions. So far, what we have been told. The Qatari foreign ministry has, of course, shared their own statement. They have expressed much optimism with regards to the ongoing talks. But the TTP particularly, remember, Shreya, is upset with Pakistan Armed Forces because of the airstrikes that have been taking place. TTP has been rattled in and they have also been attacking Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. They vowed to avenge attacks on Pakistan's leadership. They have been conducting multiple attacks so far. Pakistan's also lost out on several policemen in suicide bombings that have been carried out by the TTP as well. But at the same time, Pakistan's been neutralizing several terrorists. So we'll have to see, first of all, how long will this entire ceasefire hold and what they aim to get out of it.
Right. Thank you, Akanksha, for your input. Joining us right now is Major General A.K. Siwach. He is a certified defense expert. Very good morning to you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Sir, what can you tell us about this current ongoing negotiations that have going on in Doha between the two countries? And how long do we see a formal ceasefire and a formal declaration of a sort?
Initially the chances are seeming slightly positive that they have a first talk in Doha, which is being brokered by Qatar and Turkey, and they are going to have a second session today. And there are chances of having again follow-up action in next 1 week. But the point is that there is a mistrust which is existing now between Afghanistan and Pakistan, and that is now increasing day by day. The reason is simple, because Pakistan has violated the air space of Afghanistan, and they try to hit in Kabul and thinking that they are hitting the TTP commander, basically Noor Ali Masood. Instead, they have killed almost a lot of civilians and the children. Instead, the Noor Ali Masood was there in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa itself. So the point is, Afghanistan has to strike back, and Afghanistan, Taliban has also struck and captured almost 8 to 10 posts, and then killed number of Pakistani soldiers. So there is a mistrust which is going between both of them. What Pakistan is claiming that there is a safe haven which is given by the Afghanistan to the TTP fighters, whereas Afghanistan is denying that, is saying that whatever the fighters are there, they are well within Pakistan. And what Afghanistan is accusing Pakistan is also that it is now giving a lot of support to Islamic State Khorasan, which is a threat for the territorial sovereignty of Afghanistan. So there is no denying the fact there is a mistrust between both these countries, and it's growing day by day. Whether this ceasefire will hold, the time will only tell. But it looks like that the fault lines are very, very large. There are 3 fault lines which are there between Afghanistan and Pakistan. Afghanistan does not recognize the Durand line. And the Pashtun which are on the either side, they want to join Afghanistan and bring Sharia law. India knew it the time Afghanistan Taliban came on 15th August 2021, that their relationship will not remain good for long. And the same thing happened, because Pakistan always thought that they can dictate terms with the Taliban. They have created Taliban, and they are the one which was educated in Pakistan madrasas. But that's not happened. Taliban is active and very free type of tribes. They have responded to Soviet Union. They have responded to the Americans. So therefore, what Pakistan thought that they will get a strategic depth in their western border, that has not happened. But all said and done, to me it looks like that this ceasefire may not hold for long. The reason is simple. The Pakistan is trying to negotiate, but at the same time, it is also violating the airspace. In case this war continues, as far as border area is concerned, the Taliban fighters are very good in guerrilla warfare. And therefore, they are succeeding in taking Pakistani posts, because Pakistani soldiers are not good in that. What Pakistan has advantage is they have got an air power, which the Taliban doesn't have, the Afghanistan doesn't have. But at the same time, on the border, the air power is not going to make a much difference. It is a guerrilla warfare which have a cutting edge, and in which the Afghan Taliban is very good. So the point what is happening is that there are chances of this flaring up again. Whether the ceasefire will hold or not, time will only tell. But at present, it looks there are chances of holding on. And since the first talk has gone peacefully, the second talk will tell today as to what will be the outcome. But to us, it looks like that mistrust is so deep-rooted that the chances are very less to hold on for long. And especially when they have killed 3 cricketers, which were club-level cricketers, and Afghanistan has now come out of basically tri-series T20, which was to take place in Pakistan.
Right, sir. Many, many thanks to you, sir, for your input and putting things in perspective. Now